Good morning. You can probably tell I'm coming to you from a different venue this morning, and it occurs to me that the sun rises later in the mountains. Not only does it actually rise later because we're further north, but also because of these beautiful mountains behind me. It takes a lot longer for the sun to make its way up into the sky and over these mountains and peek in on us. But nonetheless, she is there. And I couldn't help but think about being in the mountains and think about my friend Jesus, who would often go to the mountains to pray, which is what Scripture tells us. And he took the time to set that apart no matter what else was going on, whether, 5,000 people were begging to hear him talk and perform. He would still take that time to go and pray. And it's got me thinking about spiritual practices. And this is something I think Americans, probably all first world countries, really neglect. It doesn't produce anything. It doesn't produce money. It doesn't show on our physical bodies that we've done a lot of spiritual practice this week or anything like that. So I think it's one of those places we neglect. And I think that this time at the sunrise and with whomever of you wander by in Facebook land has become a spiritual practice for me. And all it really needs to be a spiritual practice, it doesn't have to be complicated, is to be something that's done over and over again, something that is set apart, something that is different from the rest of your life with intention. I think sometimes we think that you have to be a monk who can sit really still and be quiet for long periods of time. And it doesn't have to be that to be a spiritual practice. It can be walking. It can be the things and places where you most feel the presence of God and being in that space intentionally for a period of time. That's all it really takes to be a spiritual practice. And while the results won't show in your bank account or probably on your physical person, I think we could all use a little more spiritual practice because it shows up in your heart. It shows up in the ways that you treat other people. It shows up in the ways that we, interact and engage and view the world. And this sunrise time always reminds me that whatever kind of darkness you might be going through, or even when you can't see the sun, it's still rising. The sun always rises. The sun always comes up and the darkness recedes. So I hope you can take heart in that and find some time for your spiritual practices like our friend Jesus did. Find that calm, chill, connected kind of time. I got to tell you, it makes me think of this one other story that I love where Jesus goes out in a boat with his friends, his disciples, and this storm whips up and it just gets loud and crazy and rocking and everybody's freaking out. And Jesus takes a nap in the boat. He takes a nap. And the disciples kind of freak out, and they're like, oh, wake up. Aren't you going to save us? We're all going to die. All this stuff. And he's chilling, taking a nap. At some point he says something along the lines of, peace, be still. And, as storms do, this storm stopped. But I just love that version, that idea of being still in the midst of the chaos, of not getting wrapped up in all of the anxiety and fear and bickering. And it just seems poignant in this time in this world that we're in right now. So I hope that you will be able to not get wrapped up in the chaos. I pray that you will find spiritual time, whatever that means to you, where you feel connected, where you feel set apart, where you feel holy. And I hope that you will be a person of peace in a world that so often seems full of chaos. Goodbye from the mountains, the sun that we know is there, but we cannot see. Grace and peace, friends.